Greetings, everyone. This is Joanna from Heavenly Radiance. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we wanted to give a healing video for multidimensional healing and just some of the practices that I've been using that have been really helpful. I've written about them on the blog. Um, some things that I've come into sensing and feeling is the harmonization between the various multidimensional aspects of who we are to assist in the healing process. And we wanted to focus today on the solar plexus. So what we'll do is we'll offer a short channeled and wisdom information about a specific healing. And then we'll offer some sounds and tones through sacred language to assist in the releasing and the moving of energy, activating the higher light codes that may be required for new patterns within the multidimensional fields and bodies. And so I was inspired to do this through some information that I was receiving to begin light language with the healing. And I've also got the alphabet of the arc. And as I've been looking at it, I'm noticing that some of the sounds can be used in the healing of the various chakras through which they're used for. And so the solar plexus is one of the chakras that I've been working with. And of course, we always are working with our chakras in every moment. But for those that are going through specific healing releases and are looking for looking for relief, or looking for a change in their reality, know that we're continually being accelerated and offered accelerated, heightened, refined energies for the next 6 months. It's going to be continuing to be accelerated with higher frequency light codes, with more pure, refined frequency light codes. We are going through a purification of our multidimensional bodies, which means that sometimes the deepest frequencies that we're able to resolve and to release and clear will be our role, as humans, to move in this ascension. And so our job is to clear the energies that we've created over time through not only this realm, but other realms. Most of what we're clearing is not from this lifetime, although some of the triggers and some of the experience will help us in as they get activated. They're always threaded and linked to other timelines, and that's how we heal the whole Akash. That's how we're harmonizing the multidimensional omnipresent as we spiral and thread corrupted timelines into a more profound healed timeline, which is the new earth timeline. And it requires that we acknowledge the pain, the experience. We acknowledge ourselves within it as far as being worthy of perfection and the purity that we were born within. And then accepting, when we acknowledge and accept that aspect, then we move into that next phase of healing. And releasing the story is really important. Releasing the characters of the story is really important. To forgive the people within the story, but not to thread yourself within the story and relive the story over and over, because then it becomes even more of a challenge to heal. And it will require, probably greater attempts, just speaking from experience, and using sound to override the patterns of thought that are created. And that's why what happens is that if those energies are not healed, then they become, especially when the subtle bodies and the other bodies get activated through ascension, your other bodies will react very quickly, and they do so by thought forms to keep you safe. So, because that's just what the ego does. And if the ego is not harmonized to have the soul and the spirit take over, to be the guide, to be the lead, then it creates a whole other realm of dysfunctional thought forms, depression, imbalanced and mental bodies. It just creates more to heal. Why I've gone through what I've gone through is so I can assist in teaching in this, and I can feel the very subtle, the fanning out. But oftentimes we suppress so many layers of damage and trauma and dysfunction, and it will come forward. So just know that, be okay with it. Sometimes we we push the healing back for our resistance. It's like, oh, here we go again. So open up to it, because you will get to that point through your practice. And I'm going to give you some steps. And if you do it on a consistent basis daily, I'm saying daily, if you do it on a daily basis, then you can have the strength and empowerment to know what you're doing. Anything that comes up, you'll know how to create that flowing of higher light energy. You know how to work with your multidimensional bodies. You understand the process of clearing, releasing, cleansing, honoring, calling in, and moving into a higher frequency of light. And there is a process. You can play with it and allow yourself to move within it, what feels good for you. But I've noticed that when you commit and devote to yourself the clearing and the healing for you, that really truly garners that self-empowerment. And it's practice. It really is. Because every new month and every new phase that we're moving through, and they're moving faster and faster, I'm sensing like weekly, they're moving, even daily. Daily, I'm feeling that, in the mornings, it's just clearing, clearing, clearing. And so sense into your cycles when you sense that you're clearing and releasing things, when you have that reprieve, just to have, obviously joy and play can come into everyday life, but, you're not going to be clearing those really dense, energies, and magnified energies. That's when they're really deep in the Akash and many lifetimes that we're having to heal. So accepting, so first we'll talk about a situation, we'll talk about the example. We're working with the solar plexus right now. The solar plexus is all about the chakras, just so that you know. The chakras work with other chakras when we're processing, integrating, manifesting, and healing, whatever it is that we're doing. And our chakras play a really important role on our soul's blueprint, why we're here. That's the manifesting, creative, Christed part of it. But first, we're going to talk about the chakras for healing. And so the chakras is that I am presence. And those that are healing victimization, whether it's through persecution, abuse, mental and emotional abuse, in various, you can look down the genre of a myriad of types of abuse, and there's many of them. And they'll all affect the multidimensional bodies. But we're talking specifically about the solar plexus. The solar plexus is how you garner that power of your I am presence. Who are you? And why we talk about self-care and how it's so important. And this will be important for us to carry through as our future. Those that are awakening now, going through their healing practices and their healing, what's going on. This will be important that we bring forward the importance of daily self-care, the importance of talking about your emotions, balancing your emotional body, your feelings, really tuning into how you're feeling and honoring your bodies as you're feeling those experiences, as opposed to those of us that were never taught these things, when we were younger. I'm 50. So, all of those years, plus all of the other Akash years, it's the last 15 years has been healing. Just really hardcore healing, and it's so important that every day we create that self-care and self-love and self-honor, so that you get into a process and you empower that process for others. You're setting the tone for others to truly honor their bodies and their emotions, and to really take care and honor, because it can, from what I've experienced, it can create a huge imbalance in the mental body if it's overwhelmed. Not only have we been going through accelerated frequencies, but we're also, those around us, as you'll feel when your subtle bodies kick in and activate, your light body activates, your multidimensional gifts and skills get activated, your telepathy, your empathy, your clairsentience, clairaudience, all of those energies get activated. You begin to feel the threading and enmeshment with others that in your close circle, so those in your home. And so if there's many imbalances and many people at varying degrees of not only, wellness and health and balance, and the Akash and the souls that they're carrying, the soul blueprint. And so there's that great flux, really great influx of energies, and being so, for me, being so tuned in and aware of what's going on, in every way, my body and my energy fields, and my hear. I mean, I I'm an empath and I'm a crystal child, so I can feel it all, and they're great gifts to have, but to be aware of this and to truly stand in your power and begin using your pillar of light, using your gifts, that solar plexus, that heart space, to set the boundaries of what is okay for you and what's not okay. Those acceptable boundaries, energetically, vibrationally, mentally, is really, really important. So that from this point forward, you don't have to heal things. You're setting that space for yourself. You're setting what's important to you, what your values are based on your soul truth. This is my soul truth, and what are my values? I'm going to set boundaries. I'm going to make sure that I care for myself and my physical, mental, emotional. That's from your soul truth, because your soul truth is directly linked to why you're here, your mission, your creative, Christic, joy, and all of those things. So what really is important to you, and then set your standard, so that from here on out, you know that what feels right and what doesn't feel right. What is okay, what's not okay, and really live by that. That's the starting point. Where do you begin with who you are as source? Then when you have those releases that go through, you're creating that system of self-care to accept and acknowledge what you're moving through, what you're feeling. It could be, if we're talking about the solar plexus, and we're healing many of the abuses that so many will be healing. There's so many in our planet that will be healing, and they will need our help. As light workers, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, all of those aspects that we say abuse because they sometimes they cause triggers, but we're offering this forward as our human unity, how we can care and honor one another, and how we can bring these into a conversation of multidimensionality to to um, to bring up the level of profundity that we are as beings, and begin healing one another, so that it creates long-term health and wellness, and that we can begin to practice these things on a daily basis, so that it's not going to be compounded when you're 50 or 40. And then that's why people, in my opinion, people used to go through what they call the middle age crisis. For me, that was just imbalancing of bodies that just had to break down. There was no other way for the body to deal with and heal all the things it needed to heal, because we were, a society that just suppressed everything, and the body has to reveal itself in every way, the emotions and the mental body. And so, there's societal stigmas that we've created around the lack of awareness and lack of knowledge that we've had about who we truly are as multidimensional beings in spirit. And so any types of energies that we're healing, and they link to many of our society's subjugations, whether it's the divine feminine, divine male, workplace issues, anything like that, they can all be threaded and be triggering many of these abuses that have gone on in other lifetimes, have gone on in this lifetime. And remembering that when we're healing, we can take some of the sting off and some of the triggering energies off, by understanding that we're all this human family, this human collective, and we're here to assist and heal one another. And why it's important for me to come forward with not everything that I've experienced, obviously, but to come forward as a multidimensional seer and crystalline child, and allow the multidimensional profundity to be threaded into how we can heal. And use the heightened gifts and tools so that we can heal our bodies with greater ease, perhaps less chemicals, and greater understanding for who we are, because that's really why we heal ourselves, so that we gain that sense of self, that sense of oneness with source, with others, with our inner peace. so that we can move on every day and not, kind of be huddled on the floor, wondering what's going on. Um, so as the acceleration energies for the collective, for our planet continue, they will be clearing and purifying the chakras. And those experiences are held within the chakras as codes, and they get released. Sometimes they're codes of gifts that were offered. Usually those gifts come after we clear the density. They make that room, that light space, if you will, that oscillation space through the cells and through all that we are. But we have to clear first. And so as we clear and we heal, we honoring ourselves and opening up to a greater light, then we call in those light codes. So at the beginning of the day, I create space. Usually when I first wake up, I set the intention for what I want to create and intention to walk with source, intention to love and show up in love and be love, to explore who I am and express who I am in the most authentic way as the Christic being that I am. Those are the intentions. And then I go into that reflective period. So that's step one, is sit in quiet reflection. What is requiring to be healed and cleared? Clearing always comes first, clearing and healing. And so you just sit in quiet reflection. Is there anything that is coming forward for me today that I need to reflect upon, clear and heal? And it might be something that had been left over from the day before. Sometimes what happens is that you're also processing through the night of things that are deeper into that wound. And that's why it's always good as well to, in your reflection time the next morning, write down your dreams, because they'll also be reflecting back to you the healing at a deeper level. Maybe something that's forthcoming that you can, kind of cut off at the bend, if you will, for greater action, or maybe taking off the blindfolds and so forth. Really being clear about what your needs and wants are. So your dreams will give you those intuitive hits to assist in the deeper healing, assist in greater clarity and action during the day, and letting you know kind of what's coming so you can prepare yourself, because also within the next 6 months to a year, there's going to be many portals and many shifts. And then those of us that are, moving in such an accelerated pace, for me, especially with what I've been processing the last 15 years, my teams are really giving me the heads up, things are happening, so that I can process it, along with everything else. And so just to know, just the unconditional trust and understand that your soul knows what it's doing, pay attention to the higher self cues and things like that. Because there's going to be things come to you and offered to you as beautiful synchronicities and gifts and people and soul tribe and things like that, so that you can realign with those timelines and those things that you're creating on the soul level. And so those will come through. But to write those experiences from your dreams down and really reflect upon it. What did that show me? What did that dream show me that I need to accept, that I need to honor within myself, or I need to act upon? That's the reflection time that's really important, because you get so much of your soul's growth in that reflection time. And then for the clearing part, once you've done that reflection, and that reflection will show you, wow, I was triggered by that. That really made me feel angry. I remembered what was said, or how I let that person just walk all over me. Whatever was triggered, that reminded you through that reflection time, whether it was your dream that ignited that remembrance, or whether it was you just bringing in a memory from the day before, or an ongoing issue that's happened for years. Because many of the healings are compounded layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. That's why daily clearing and cleansing and healing is so important. For me, it was a lot of the dysfunction and the abuse was about my voice not being as important as others. Having to, as an empath and a healer, feeling as if I was responsible for healing everybody and making everybody's life happy, or fixing everything within the house, or feeling energetically responsible for it, and just over compromising and over giving, and everybody else just didn't really seem, the honor that was given in that moment, for the giving, and even from childhood, but these also trigger, other timelines, you know, and that's the healing from other timelines. And so, but they're layered, layered upon layer upon layer. So if you have that childhood memory of not being valued, dysfunction in the home, you know, alcoholism, codependency, narcissism, whatever it was that you were surrounded by, lack of whatever it was, you know, they carry you through. And if it's not being dealt with and honored and healed at the childhood level, then it carries through. And so why many of us and many people go through that middle age crisis, you know, which it was just misunderstood. You know, there's just so many people that grew up in dysfunctional, you know, families because that's what we knew. We're clearing generations and generations of dysfunction. And so that's just how it is. We're here to make it, we're here to create similitude in our oneness of it. You know, we're all here to assist one another, to create oneness and healing, and to know that you have a family that will support you, that you have a family that listens to you and honors you, that will assist you in bringing your pains and your wounds to a space of love and honor, to honor your history, to honor your past, and to peel away layer by layer. And this is why, if it's done daily, you create the salve and the pure clearing that wound is required. And it requires that we accept it, you know, go into that space of emotional hurt. I was feeling hurt, I was feeling angry. And you know, why is that anger there? Because I wasn't respected, I wasn't honored, you know. And then release the story. I'm ready to release the story of this because now I know that I'm worthy. I am worthy of my voice being heard. I am worthy of that power. That's reclaiming that light that goes back into that solar plexus. But first we acknowledge it and accept that wound is there. I accept that I was hurt. That wasn't okay. You know, I'm having my own back. And that's where you're growing that self-empowerment. You're growing that self-empowerment so that your soul, that inner child and the shadow, whatever we want to call it, for me, it's all the same, you know, because I can feel it. I absolutely feel these energies, and why I can speak about them in the way that I do, I feel it. If there's a frequency that's coming in from another collective, I can feel it. You know, if there's an energy in the room, I can feel it. You know, and so when there's thought forms that are coming in, or it's from the shadow self or the inner child, it will trigger a reaction in the body. The subtle body is clicked in. You're not safe here, clenched. That's the ego. Subtle bodies. Everything is interacting, and then that fear thought form then gets triggered, and it's all instant. And that thought form is, okay, what are we going to do? And that's when we start reacting in the old human way, 3D, 4D. So what we want to create now is that as we create the daily practices, as we create filling our own vessel of light up with light, with love, self-honor, standing in your power, standing in your light, claiming your center of empowerment and peace and what your values are, and you're setting your boundaries and all of those things, that we're now dropping all of our consciousness, what our ego thought it had to do. We're allowing it to surrender to the soul and living from the space of the heart and the soul. And so my teams have been telling me lately, anytime that I feel those triggers of safety, persecution, any types of things that I'm clearing and healing at this accelerated pace, they say, surrender now, surrender now, surrender now. We're here. And the soul of all of you, the universal vastness of you comes forward to share light, offer light, immediately suppresses the field, you know, brings it down to a loving state. You're safe. You're with us. We're with you. You're a sacred being. You know what to do. You can do this. And I feel them now talking with me and easing that pain and easing that threshold of fear until it gets to my own state of behaving where I can calm that down and say, you know what to do. Those are just your fears that are wanting to go back to that old program of the mind. That's the old programming, is the mind has to control and figure it all. And that's why there's so much exhaustion and suppression and depression. The mind thinks that it has to figure it all out. from all of these depressed energies and suppressed emotions and pains and hurts and experiences, and why dealing with it every day is so important. And with those around you, just honoring it in the moment, speak about it. This is how I felt when you said that, and this is how my feelings got hurt. Let's talk about this, instead of waiting and waiting and waiting, which is what I did, because I never thought that my voice was important. And that's one of the things I'm here to transcend on many levels, many multidimensional levels, for my lineage, for the shamanic ancestry that I'm here, the divine feminine, crystalline children, the children's collective. All of these are always tied up within what we're here to clear and transcend. And it's the value of the voice of the sacred child. It's the value of their importance. It's the value of their path. And we've often treated, from how our generations have grown up, is that the children were to be seen and not heard. Where is their creative voice? Where is their creative honor and need? And so we would carry those hurts and those pains, that our feelings and our experiences are not important. They so are. And we also carry them through not only the children's, but divine feminine and native, Aboriginal, any type of minority group. The class is minority. Well, really, what is the majority? It seems like every group across our collective has had these aspects of subjugation, and they affect all the chakras. And so what I've found out is that I've been feeling like I've never felt before the last 6 months, and my solar plexus is going through a complete retransformation. And they've shown me that it's a complete rebirth. I've stripped everything down from all that I am as a being to enter into this 5th dimensional frequency. It must. Everything has been stripped. And the last 2-3 months, literally the last 2, although the last year is really the biggest challenge of my life this past year, but the last 2 months I've felt completely stripped. And I say stripped in the multidimensional way that for all of my ascension, I felt very clear about who I was and what my path was. This last 2 months has been just stripping, strip. Like my soul and my higher self are just going, nope, don't need that, don't need that, don't need. And it's like, who am I? I have no idea who I am now. Because what we built, who we built ourselves on, were very limited perspectives. And in doing so, we're also clearing all of those old pains. And so we're clearing, and we're doing so much in this one lifetime. And I feel that mine has been particularly accelerated because I've remembered it and clearing it and having to process and transform and integrate it and then put it together for information to assist others, has been on a really huge path of acceleration. And there's been times where it's just, I'm no words. God help me. What? But that's what, there will be those moments like that, because we're stripping everything back, right back, strip it back, not needed, and it really, living from the heart is all you need. This is it right here. But it takes going through all of the layers upon layers we've built around ourselves, especially those that have grown up in dysfunctional, any type of home that was not nurturing and caring in any way. Those are the pains we come with, and then we're here to help heal and help others heal. And we take on those at a soul level. So we know it, and we pull in those people that will play those roles for us, and we do them. So it's at the highest level, it's serving us. But we need to allow ourselves daily process, daily recognition, daily integration and reflection, so that we are allowing that sense of empowerment and self-knowing. Yes, I get this, that we're profound beings of power, we're profound beings of light and honor, and we can assist one another. Let's get this done. Let's do this. And we're coming forward as a soul team, as a light community, to say we are here to help those that have been disenfranchised. We're here to help those that have been the minority and not heard. We're here to help the animal collective. We're here to help Gaia. And this is where we're here to rebuild sacredness. And it begins within first. So knowing that your emotions and your body and your feelings are sacred, begin there. You're an infinite being of eternal light. You are a sacred child of God. You are sacred. Your feelings are sacred. Your emotions are sacred. You are sacred. Your body deserves to be treated with sacredness. Your mind and your feelings and your thoughts and your creativity deserve to be treated with sacredness. First by yourself. Because if you set that standard, what is most important to you, and then build your spokes, build your wheel, you and God in the middle, your soul source in the middle, and everything else that surrounds you, my creative expression, my creative exploration, my spiritual exploration, all of these spokes, mental, physical, emotional, etheric, all of that is important for you. That's your values. That's where you know within your heart, this is important to me. And I'm going to be heard as I hear you. Now, how can we compromise? How can we work together? And oftentimes there will have to be those separations, because there's going to be those vibrational energies that are not on that same path, and that's okay. But it's up to each and every one of us to begin the healing process, to begin talking about it, and allowing those conversations to take place so that the children can feel comfortable in their skin. The children can feel comfortable with what they're moving through emotionally, physically, etherically, and energetically, that they often always don't talk about, until it shows up in a behavior, whether it's self-harm, depression, anxiety. So this is how they mask what's going on, because it can't be talked about in a way that doesn't have a stigma attached to it, or they feel as if it's not normal. They want to fit in. That's when the heart chakra shuts down and the chakras begin to become imbalanced. So it really, really is key. Daily self-care, daily nourishment of the soul, daily nourishment of how you're clearing. Clearing is the nourishment of the soul, releasing what doesn't serve. And it's a daily process, in the morning and at night. And however you choose to, feel around for your own self. I'm just speaking from experience. And so we're getting back. I've given you a big teaching about, how we come about the healing. It's important that we talk about it. We all need healing. We're going to be continuing going through these processes of, feeling like we've never felt before. Where are these things coming from, and what do I do? Because it affects the whole multidimensional body. And if it's left unattended, if it's left unnourished, if it's left unloved, if it's left uncleared, then it does congest and it does block, and it causes other imbalances, especially in the mental body. And it can create things it doesn't need to create, and so first, so again, the acceptance and the acknowledgement. What am I feeling? Let's get to the core of this. What am I feeling? Feel that emotion. Allow yourself to feel it. I'm honoring my emotions, because my emotions are how I create here. And I want to make sure I'm creating from a place of love and peace. If you're not creating from a place of love or peace, it will show up in your reality as anger, frustration, imbalanced relationships, dysfunction. So creating from a place of peace and love begins with who you are inside, your core vibration. And forgiving, once you accept and acknowledge it, forgive yourself, for any blame or shame or guilt that you cause yourself. I absolutely know anything that I'm moving through, even if it's a natural part of the process that my team has said, you're healing things that happened in other lifetimes. And so don't blame yourself. You're healing the things that couldn't get completed, and you're blaming source when you do so. So always allow yourself to know and acknowledge your source in every moment of your processing, no matter how dark and dense it might feel. And whatever pains you're healing, things that might have been so suppressed that you might have forgot even occurred, because those will come up. They have to. And be okay with it. You're strong enough, because they'll come up when you're strong enough to deal with it. My teams have always said that. You have exactly what you need to heal anything that comes forward. It most often won't feel comfortable. And it's okay. But we have to normalize what our emotions have been showing us for eons that we've been ignoring and have created imbalances and lack of self and lack of honor, lack of sacredness. And so we're restilling and we're rebalancing and reunifying within our sacred union with Source, as Source. And that's why forgiveness is so important. So being grateful for who you are in this process. I am so grateful for who I am as me. I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for me. And if you might not feel it, but open that heart in gratitude. Gratitude opens the portal for movement. Gratitude opens the heart. Gratitude is that communication of the soul with spirit. And so I'm grateful that I can release this now. I'm grateful for just to know that doesn't serve me anymore. I'm grateful I've got to this point that this doesn't serve me anymore. I want to release this. So when you get to that point and you've recognized it, you've acknowledged it, you've accepted it within your story, it's a part of your story, honor it, it's a part of you. You're forgiving it. You're forgiving the people and the ones involved, and you're forgiving yourself, and release the blame and the guilt and the shame. Release those energies. Say, I'm releasing blame now. I'm releasing guilt now. I release and I forgive now. I forgive myself. I forgive this person, that person, this person. I am in my intention of forgiveness. And when we say it with pure intent and we offer it to Source, and these are the steps that I take. I'm showing you the steps that I take, and please work with your own comfort, Billy. But I'm just showing you the processes that I've had that work for me. You offer it to Source and your teams and the highest Christed beings of your healing teams, Lord Michael, the angels of the violet flame, and the keepers of the violet flame, your Christic beings of healing, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Orion councils of light, Mother, Father, Source, Creator, Spirit. I offer this and I surrender. I ask for these to be transmuted and released from my body and transmuted cell through all cause, through all core that I am, all my multidimensional fields and my cells and my bodies. Please have this cleared and cleansed. I choose to be in this frequency of forgiveness. Choose to be in this frequency of acceptance and acknowledgement. And I'm so grateful that I am who I am in this process to live myself whole again. I choose to return to a place of love, balance, harmony, and healing. Please assist me in this transmutation. I no longer wish to carry this. And please transmute any and all frequencies and discordances between those that I love in this experience. So you're also giving, which I found really works really well for me and my family and others, that I'm releasing the discordance that has been caused through any experience. So it's being transmuted through the threads. And whatever anybody else chooses to do with those frequencies, but you're clearing your part within it. You're clearing and cleansing, you're transmuting it, you're offering it to be transmuted, taking your responsibility, taking your acceptance and acknowledgement and forgiveness. Whatever part that we have all played in this co-creation, we take this ownership and we ask it to be cleared and cleansed from a multidimensional perspective. And then if you do this often enough and daily, you will begin to feel the difference in your field of when you're really light. Wow, that felt really good. Thank you, Source. You know, when I ask for those clearings, and there's the lessons that I've taken, and I acknowledge the lesson. I acknowledge that I held on to this when I didn't need to. I get that because there was fear. I get that I judged, you know, because there was fear. I get that, you know, and then I ask for it to be transmuted. I've realized my blessing and my lesson within it because it's made me grow and strong as a soul. I've grown in strength because I know that whatever else comes forward, that I know, I understand what's going on, and I release that judgment now. I love you unconditionally. You're my perfect mirror of who I am and the love I want to bring to this picture. There's a lesson there with whoever faces you, but to live from this space and be open and say, you're showing up in front of me and I'm one with you. That nothing phases you and nothing wavers you. And you release those fear anomalies that are built through eons of experience through the psyche that don't need to trigger you anymore. I mean, trust me, I understand triggers. I understand triggers. I get triggers. I get it. It could triggers with anything: eating disorders, alcohol, mental and physical abuse. I get it. And I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to create that that ability of inner strength and inner spirit, that we can each be here for one another, that we can each lend a hand, that we can each say, hey, there's processes that we can do this. And perhaps it might not take away all of the pain, because each of us have a different experience that we have to move through, for different lessons, for different soul growth. So know that you're being served at such a high range of multidimensionality, and you're healing not only you, but your soul team and your soul group. So we come here with hundreds of souls and beings that are linked with our soul. So when you heal something as profound like subjugation in any way, if you're afraid to speak your voice and you're healing it, it affects every soul that you're linked and connected with, and all those ones on your physical level. Why it's really important that we create daily self-care and slow down. I've noticed that as I slow down and create greater breath and more time for reflection and stillness, I'm walking around in much more honor of who I am and my inner strength. And so those are those steps: acknowledgement and acceptance, and then forgiveness within that experience, forgiveness of the pain, forgiveness of the hurts that you've carried around for so long and you're willing to let it go. Give yourself permission. I release it now, and ask for the heavenly help. So that's 4 or 5 quick tips, in doing this daily, releasing it. And then you can even do it through movement and through your hands with your fields. And what I found helped with the lower chakras, because the lower chakras require movement. Otherwise, it gets stagnant. And then it causes the upper chakras to be imbalanced: mental body, emotional body. And so we're going to be offering some movement in some of our videos. My teams have been showing me to get moving. And I do them in some of my classes and my webinars, just I haven't been doing them on YouTube. But it does help to move. So healing yoga, stretching and moving your body around trees, and moving your hands to be one with Gaia, moving your body. Now, after you've done the clearing and after you've released, we then go into rebuilding that light into that space that's just been cleared. And those spaces that have just been cleared come at a multidimensional level. It comes within your fields, asking the creators, as you're surrendering it, they'll also do a bathing of your fields. And you can ask for that bathing to be brought back to you. I now ask for that healing energies to be brought back into my fields, to be cleared and cleansed through my physical, mental, emotional, and physical bodies, my cells, my organs, my chakras. Please bathe and cleanse, and clear any remaining residue that is linked and connected with this one experience. Every day, even if it just seems little, and you felt angry because somebody did something at a coffee shop, and you felt yourself get really, really angry because you didn't speak your truth or whatever it might have been, because it's always linked to other things. And if we don't connect with it and say, I'm letting this go, then there's other things that, are threaded with it. So deal with it, every day. Say, why was I bothered there? Well, because somebody said something last week and, my feelings weren't honored. Or I didn't honor their feelings. I now know that I want to say sorry when I bump into somebody, So all of these things are being much more aware and attuned on how to live sacredly, how to live as one. That's what we're remembering and learning. We are one. I want to treat you as I wish to be treated, and vice versa. How can we live sacredly and honor one another? You are as important as I. We are equal. We are one. And how can I heal my body? How can I feel good about who I am in my skin? How can I honor my past? How can I know that my past is my teacher? How can I stand firmly in my power? How can I allow light to come in after I release and let go? And how can I be there for others? How can I be a good role model of presence, being present, honoring the light, listening and being there, and improving my relationships through doing so? Because through all of what I've learned and what I've been shown, recently, is that I've been really disconnected from emotional relationships because of all the damage, because of all the healing and the pain. And so now my role is to improve my relationships, because it's been so hard, hurt pain. The chakra just shuts down, the heart chakra, And so now we're here healing, everybody's healing their heart chakra and all of their chakras on some level. And so after you've cleared and cleansed and asked for it to be transmuted, and then you just sit with that reflection at your divine sacred heart and connect with who you are as a soul. You know, your soul is right there in your soul. Call and invite your soul forward. I invite my soul forward and the Divine Mother, Father forward, and all of the healing teams for gratitude in this healing and in this recognition of who I am as a divine soul as I return to my sacredness. And find your own words, because your own words and your own heartfelt intent, the pure intent of who you are, connecting with your innate field, connecting with your consciousness fields, connecting with your bones and your chakras, your intention of love for yourself, your intention of your purity of who you are, honoring yourself, that is alchemic shifts. So allow yourself to feel into the love when you're doing these things, because that's how you feel the clearing. That's how you feel that re-empowerment when it comes back in. And as you open up into that gratitude, you ask for the highest light codes to assist you in claiming that power and that light back. I call in my highest light and my highest power that I've left behind through all of these behaviors of inadequacy and self-doubt and lack of. I call this back. I call back the power of myself as a divine soul of light. I call back the energies of self-love into my chakras. And then I use my hand and motions on the chakra, and I say I am power, or I just place my hand over my chakra. And you create those I am powerful statements to reinforce that power back within the chakra, that light back within the chakra. And then visualize light going into the chakra and it being returned to a beautiful citrine yellow, a beautiful transparent, beautiful sun yellow, a beautiful warm feeling of empowerment. And your I am power statements. I am whole, I am healed, and I am one with creation. I stand in my power. I stand in my fearlessness to be me. I allow myself to be one with Source, to be one with my human family. I trust who I am. I am powerful. I am whole, and I am healed. And then when what I found really helps amplify my energy after this process is I begin using my hands and calling in those high vibrations. I reach for those higher vibrations and I call it in. I am a powerful healer of light. I call in my essence of love. I call in, I reach the highest frequencies of light. I reach and I pull it in. And you'll feel your vibrations rise right away. Then you walk away, wow, that felt really good. And you're knowing that you can call in those light, you can call in those enhancements to your chakras, to your bodies, and you're being a part of the building of your vortex, the building of your fields, the building of you with light and love. And just feel the difference. And then, you know, if you have a day where you didn't do it, you'll feel the difference. And so this is how to tune really into your multidimensional fields, the emotional field, the mental field, when you're feeling exhausted, when you're feeling lethargic. Lethargy is your body not moving the energy. So you've got to move your body, whether it's walking, connecting with Gaia, you know, sitting out by a tree and just doing some stretching, however you want to move. It's really important as we accelerate. The energy must move. And connecting with your body at self-care release, you know, even give it, you know, have a beautiful, you know, make it fun, you know, wake up really early and set the space, you know, sacred space, put candles and make yourself a tea. And, you know, maybe, you know, I have, you know, these rooms, you know, and I spray and, you know, just create beautiful sacred space for yourself and make it fun for you. And maybe even do it outside, you know, include Gaia as much as possible. And these are the healing practices that we can get used to. And then, of course, if some of these traumas are really, you know, powerful and profound, you know, allow yourself to know that you can ask for help. You know, that you can ask for permission to receive guidance on where to go and who to call. You know, ask your team, who can I call? And you'll see things pop up on your screen, or you'll see something in the mail or something that will let you know that there's a counseling center around the corner, and they offer, you know, free community, you know, gatherings, and get connected with others that have also gone through similar things. So that community is really important, really, really important. And we have our Facebook page and our website, and there's a community section on our website. And we do tarot readings and healings with sound and stuff. And we're hoping to build that community so that people have a place to go and just feed light with one another. Not the you know, not the experience bashing. That's not what the communities are about. The communities are about the healing and the care, you know. And so if there's a lot of anger and repressed energies, then there's ways that it can be dealt with in a harmless and serving way for your soul, because you want to serve and honor your soul. Otherwise, there's just going to be more stuff to heal. Been there, done that. And great ways are the physical activities. So if there's repressed anger and resentment and bitterness and all of those things that do come attached with abuse, they just do, at varying levels, depending on the abuse, right? Depending on the experiences. And so, boxing and things like that, boxing in the gym with the big bag, so that you're getting those energies out, and you can express the energies to the bag, not about the people or the stories, but just express the anger. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling angry. Whatever that is, get that anger out. Feel that anger. You're allowed to feel that anger. Release the story, release the people, and just feel that emotion. This made me angry. That made me angry. And that's what the punching bag is for, or go for a run, and do yoga. When I was doing my exercising, when I do certain exercises, I kick out, that expression, because especially the lower chakras, the root and the sacral, if there's a lot of safety issues and anger issues, you can get it out through kicking, different types of aerobic activity and things like that. Or healing yoga is really, really good. Look up healing yoga tapes. I'm going to get back into doing healing yoga. So I hope to offer these as well. So what we wanted to do now that I've showed you kind of the 5 things that you can do to connect and integrate and process that healing energy, that emotion. And it'll come in different chakra areas. So work with a different chakra every day. Get really in tune with your bodies. And then opening for transmutation and opening for greater light through the appreciation and gratitude, working with that specific chakra. Okay, so you've got your 5 tips to deal with the emotion. Start peeling back the layers, deal with it. You can do this. And if you feel like you can't do it, then seek those that community to help, whether it's a counselor, a psychiatrist, and your teams. Connect with your teams and your higher self, and there's always that support system, to assist you. Don't feel like you have to do it alone. There's so many portals and avenues for help now. There's so much great stuff online to help people. And then what were we saying? And then transmutation. Oh yeah, and then so we wanted to talk about Alphabet of the Ark, which is an ancient language, and their sacred sounds that I use. And so because the solar plexus is all about your power center, and that power center is used to help create and manifest. And it's used with other chakras too, but we're not going to go into that here. So what I wanted to do is to offer, how many do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 sounds that I wanted to use for the solar plexus. I'm already clearing. And my body knows. My body knows when I'm doing toning. It just starts clearing. I just say, okay, I'm going to make sounds. That's all I have to say, and it starts to clear. Because I was out shopping today, and when I go out and I come back, there's always energies I've got to clear. And so there's 3 sounds that I wanted to use. And so just open up your divine sacred heart and just have the intention, whatever is in my solar plexus, to be soothed, to be honored, and to be healed. These sounds assist with that empowerment, the empowerment. So to help bring that power back to the solar plexus. So that's the intention. The intention is that we, through sound, that we bring the power back to the solar plexus. So I stand in my power. I stand in this I am presence. I am a sacred being of God. I am a sacred child. And so there's 3 sounds. So I'll make the sounds 3 times each. And so just sit there, with a divine open heart, and we've got your teams with us. and the highest intention for the highest movement of beautiful energy in and around the sacred codes of these sounds. And for the empowerment of the solar plexus, and we come with the first sound as Ra, 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 Ra. The next sound is Anil, Anil, Anil. Anil means balance. Anil, balance. Anil, balance. Anil, Anil, Anil. And the next one is Asura. Asura is rising up, rising up, rising up. Asur, 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 Asur. My cat likes it when I tone. Either that or she's telling me to shut up. I always think she likes it. And so my intention is that those sounds, and make them on your own. Ra, Ra means the solar tongue. From that solar plexus, this is my truth. This is my truth. Speaking the truth of the solar tongue, the solar plexus, the soul's song, the soul's truth. That's speaking with intention, that's speaking with power, that's speaking with your oneness with God, of who you are, a source. Ra, 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 Ra. Anil is balance. My solar plexus and my multidimensional bodies are in balance. I am grounded with both feet on the ground, and I am my pillar of light. I am my center. I am pure love. I am balance. Anil, 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 Anil. And then the last one again is Asura, Asura, Asura. I'm reaching up, I'm reaching up, I'm reaching up. Asura, 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 rising up, Asura, rising up. And you can feel how I feel it vibrationally is a cord that's just pulling up that solar plexus, pulling up and out, allowing the chakras to open and spin, open and spin, open and spin, open and spin, and sound activates and clears out the density and the calcium and all the things that are built up, and to open up and activate. And play and move. Beautiful and loving. Thank you. And feel yourself grounding back to Gaia, grounding back to your intentions of love, your intentions to walk in peace, your intention to be peace, to be that essence of peace, to play with sound, to play with light and light language, and to play with your multidimensional bodies as the sacred vessel that it is. And when you go to bed at night, after you've done your clearing and your reflecting and your journaling, whatever it is that you do, really take moments just as you're ready to fall asleep, and call your teams forward and just say, what can we play with in our dreams tonight? Keep me safe as I travel throughout the galaxy and the cosmos. And just, I want to feel my body as sacred. I want to remember myself as sacred. It's important to me that I feel good. And just feel into your soul communicating with you, because you will feel, when you activate and you're clearing all of these energies, you will begin to feel source in your soul. You will. It's an alchemic shift. But because we've been hidden behind so much density and so many layers, it's important to feel again, really, and this is one of my passions, is to remember and remind those our feelings are so important. They validate who we are, and they're purposeful. It's acknowledging who we are as source in all the ways that we're able to feel. And then once we're there in balance, then our emotions are not kind of running the show. They're there to assist in the manifestation that are in a beautiful resonance of centeredness. That's when we're co-creating a source, when it's from our center, here, not here. The mind, when we harmonize the higher mind with our heart, that is the focus, the higher mind focus, not the lower mind ego, worry, doubt, all those things that the lower mind does. And it's just habitual patterns. The lower mind is all habitual patterns, and we have to repattern all that we are. Talking to yourselves, talking to your innate body, how beautiful it is to activate a new skill to bring you back into balance. And lovingly command, I am in balance. Remind yourself and recenter. Those moments that you have those worries, the moments you have this fear, because those subtle energies of worry and doubt, if you have kids and you're worrying about stuff like that, they co-create. They absolutely do. If I'm worried about something, or I have to keep myself in check, because when I find that I'm worried about my kids, and inevitably something would happen. So that worry does co-create. And it's always about returning to center. They are masters. They know what they are doing. I honor them. I send them light. So this is where really honoring the process of co-creating in a balanced, centered state, releasing the worry and the negativity. And that's just, you'll once your bodies turn on, you'll feel that subtle body kick in. You're worrying. That's a worry. Let it go. We're masters now. We're coming from this heart space. Living from this space, always. That's love. Open vessel of love. I have all the tools I need. You're reflecting to me how one we are. If there's things being triggered, if there's things coming on, I'm one with you. Detach from the emotion of it, detach from the story of it. Then you're from a centered space, from that higher self perspective. You can choose from that higher self perspective, not the emotional reactive, which is ego, but you're, I see what's happening here. I'm just going to listen and let this play out. Yeah, they need to work that out. That's a story they need to work out. I'm not going to manage it. I'm not going to make it better, because it's part of their soul's journey. Everything's all dependent, of course. We're just giving that as an example. And so, dear lighted ones, we hope that you've enjoyed this beautiful healing, and we'll offer throughout the week, offer other healings, sound and movement and light language, and allow yourself to play and be in honor of who you are as the beautiful vessel of Source Creator, and know that you have all of the tools within and the gifts and the skills to assist you in this beautiful ride. And always reach out for help. There's always those that in your community, there's many free resources, as well as other resources to assist in whatever you're moving through, and beautiful communities online. And just so allow yourself the permission to ask for help and ask for assistance. And we're here as a family, healing each other, assisting, caring and sharing and creating harmony and peace. And we love you. Namaste.